Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of our 4th Age Rhovanion campaign. We are attacking the Beornings who have besieged us at Arab Gobel. They withdrew and we chased them down here. We've got a bit of a firefight going on. They've got some woodman bows over in the trees and we are focus firing them with all of our retainer longbowmen. They are sending some infantry out, some woodman spears and some woodman axes. The only other unit that they're keeping back currently is their general, a Beorning guard unit. We can take a closer look right over here. Here they are, looking very intimidating and barbaric. And they are mail and furs. Now, this is a unit that I will be able to shoot down pretty easily with our longbows. So we're just getting everything in position, and then we're going to be, I think, sitting pretty well in terms of dealing with this force. The size of this enemy force is also another indication of a point that I brought up in an earlier episode, that is the AI for Rome Total War tends to bring an army to match the size of the garrison, at least as far as I've observed. So if you have a very big garrison in a settlement, you can expect that the AI is going to send you a very big army. If you have a garrison of just one unit or something like that, which is what we had at Arab Gobel, you see they sent 4 units at us, maybe a total of 5. But regardless, a pretty small force, all things considered. And so that makes it easy for us if you can put together an army that can kind of get in position quickly to deal with those small besieging armies of the enemy, then it should be pretty straightforward. The AI, in other words, tends not to bring overwhelming force most of the time. They tend to kind of bring reasonably tentative first strikes. And as you can see, they're mirroring that tentativeness on the campaign map with tentativeness on the battle map by doing the typical AI thing of sending infantry to march at our ranged troops, getting close, deciding it's not worth it, running back, offering us all kinds of shots in the back. And we've still got pretty full quivers for these retainer longbowmen, so pretty soon here, I think we've killed all the woodman bows. I think pretty soon we're going to be sending them just to target the Beorning guard. And I think we'll be just fine there. I'd love to kill the family member. We'll see if they allow that or if they just decide to withdraw. If they withdraw, then we'll pursue with our javelin-throwing Rhovanion nobles. But you can see we're already doing pretty good damage, even though this unit does have armor. They are in the woods, and I think the tree trunks offer them a bit of protection against arrows. But these guys are very vulnerable to massed missile fire. So any unit without a shield, typically, even a unit that's a bodyguard unit that has a decent amount of armor, you want to be using your arrows at them. And we've got good arrows with these retainer longbowmen. Now this is also a frightening unit, so you can see that we're getting the intimidated by nearby enemy tooltip, but that should not be a problem. I think we're going to have these guys routing before they reach the lines. And there we go. We'll continue the battle here, and we got down the enemy general, so I think we can just end it here. Let's do that. Exit the battle and get back to the campaign map. We did pretty well, lost about 30 men. Now the thing that I'm concerned about with the Beornings is their follow-up, because the first attack, if they're just attacking some settlement, tends to be fairly small. They're matching the size of the garrison, which Arab Gobel is pretty small. But the Beornings have the capability to train lots and lots of men. Their units are cheap. They have a pretty decent population, from what I recall, and population growth. And so they can just keep it up. They can just put on a ton of pressure. And that's what I'm a little worried about. We may have a full stack or two approaching us fairly soon. I've already seen them send some troops up along the north eaves towards Hjorth. So far, nothing too huge or worrisome, but they could be bringing units through the woods here. So, you know, this is probably a good time to get another spy out. We've got one here. Let's take him out, and we'll get another scout for Esgaroth for when the old one dies. All right, and we're actually making a tiny bit of money now, so it may be time to actually go for a watchtower up here. I do want to keep an eye on this settlement, Thrimfeld. And I want to make sure that the Beornings aren't going to send an army, or a Dunabar isn't going to send an army up and through this way. So I think that's a pretty decent move. I'm not going to capture Thrimfeld because, as we've seen, or as I've said before, we don't want to get the AI feeling too boxed in. And I know Adunabar is fighting Rohan, and but pretty soon they're not gonna have Rohan to kick around anymore, and they're going to be looking for another target. I just by the way that this says Eorling Fort allies, I'm noticing that this has probably fallen to Dunland. Let's take a look at the ground. Yeah, Dunharrow is showing the Dunland insignia, and what I'm doing here is just deselecting everything by left-clicking on the campaign map anywhere, and then right-clicking on the ground just outside the settlement. That tells me the actual owner of the province, whereas the sort of decal of the Rohirrim here, the flag right above the settlement, that's not updated. So every now and then, if you're just looking at that, you're going to get a misleading view of things. It's worthwhile to just kind of drag around these settlements. Like I can see here, for example, this looks like it's held by rebels, but it says it's Settlement of Independent People's Allies. I know they're not my allies, so I have to right-click just to verify that is held by Dunland. This is still held by Dunland, and it looks like Minas Anor may be getting taken back by the Reunited Kingdom. So we've taken care of that Beorning army. And I don't think we have anybody else on the way anywhere. We did finish roads in Erebos, so that's going to make it much nicer in terms of movement allowance here. Even this infantry unit can get all the way through the province in a single turn. Very, very good stuff. All right, and we also have this army. That's right, he was heading down south. I think everything else in the east is all set, so we just need to end the season. Oh, that's right, we're sending a spy up the north. I'm going to let him go at slow speed. I know it may be a little annoying to watch, but I want to take a look at things like Karis Galadon, Aemon Lank. We can see that those are still held by the elves, which is not surprising. There's Langwyke, and there is another big army of the Beornings, or there is a big army of the Beornings right outside. So we can see that that is that's a sign that they've been training. Now, maybe they're going to pick on my allies, Adunabar, or maybe Adunabar is going to start picking on them. That would be nice. I think while they have other enemies, though, namely me, and while Thrimfeld is still held by rebels, I think they're probably not going to pick a fight with another faction, but you never know. Okay, here comes another army. Let's bring this guy, geez, I think we could bring him right over to Holt. I just want to double check that there's no other armies around here. We do have an army right outside. So we can do our thing of hitting an enemy army and seeing if we can capture the province. Let's just meanwhile send him around. Okay, no other armies outside there. We do have this. I don't know what it is. Let's send the spy closer to see. Okay, nothing really. Just woodman bows, woodman axes. Of course, this is a force that could take Arab Gobel if I didn't have anything else there. But I imagine they're not going to be interested in taking Arab Gobel in a second here. Well, actually, let's hold on this and let's check the news. We got our path blocked. We're losing money and path blocked. But good thing I halted there because we have mercenaries and we're going to have some good ones here. Woodman, mercenary, axemen are just really basic. I'll pick them up because they're pretty cheap. 70 soldiers, 110 upkeep, you know, they're just fine. We also have Rhovanion bowman mercenaries, always nice to have some fairly cheap ranged stuff, but the real prize here is the Rhovanion ranger mercenaries. We may have seen them earlier in the campaign. I can't remember. It's been such a long time since I've bothered. But these are quite good units, and so I'm definitely going to pick them up. And we will attack the army right outside Holt. Oh, and they're going to withdraw because they're no fun at all. Let's go ahead and put it under siege. And we actually have the option to grab a couple of other mercenaries. I don't know that I'm going to bother, because I don't think they have any big armies. I don't think I'm going to need it. If they were to attack me with this right now, I would easily be able to deal with it with what I've got. And I'm glad I've got the longbows, because all these Beorning war dogs are going to be very, very annoying to deal with. They're trainable at the hosting halls tier, So it'll be good for us to get rid of that. Cavalry are also kind of tough. The Beornings have actually a decent unit of cav. This is the only cavalry they get, but they're pretty robust compared to our light cav. So we will have to watch out for that. But I think with our archers, we can take care of the warhounds and probably deal with everything else. So let's just prepare for that mentally. But in the meantime, check everything else. So one thing I could do, I was thinking about this in between episodes, is take the army out of Belligant and just attack Garth and take it. I know some of you have maybe been screaming at me to do that. The problem is I don't really want to own Garth, and I wouldn't mind keeping this as their protectorate. The problem with that is it's got a full stack. Or it's got a decent size of units here. So what I'm going to do instead is this. I'm going to bring a scout around just to see what they've got. And we already know they've got some high-tier stuff. Oh yeah, here are their halberdiers. These are a very dangerous unit, effective against armor. Bonus fighting riders. They don't have any Rhovanion watch in this stack, but they've got actually 3 units of halberdiers. Granted, one is down to just 9 men, but take a look at that 41 defense. So a pretty formidable unit. These guys may be down to low numbers as well, but the stack here looks pretty well built up. And they don't have too many trash but high numbers units like these warband levies to be buffing up the size of that flag there. So I think they've probably got full units of halberdiers. Also a couple units of these Rhovanion men-at-arms, another really interesting unit. They can do a shield wall. Reasonable morale sounds kind of lackluster, but in this mod it's actually really good. So they're a very solid unit indeed. And they've got 2 of them. Again, they're probably likely to be pretty full in terms of numbers. It looks like the thing that they are missing is ranged. They've got 2 units of archers here. They do have 1 very small unit of Rhovanion foresters, got some hunters, got a full unit of Rhovanion bowmen. They've got a bunch of cav. Light cav, granted, but that's also the cav we've got. They've also got their ruler and their nobleman in the stack here. And so, let's see, do they have a leader inside here? I'm not sure, but here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking the army here could deal with what they have got. If we bring these guys outside, I'm thinking we bring these 2 units. Okay, how many men? Is it 70 or is it 80? It's 70. So we could do this. And we could do that. And we could do that. And now we bring these 2 units down to get retrained, like later. Not right now. May as well keep them here for the moment. That's really good in terms of public order. This means we lose a bit in terms of money because he's a good general. But we can bring these guys up and entice them to attack us by just setting up on their territory. I think they would take that fight. They would get some troops together, and they would want to meet us in the field, I'm guessing. Unfortunately, no mercenaries available here, but I think we would be able to handle it. We've got 4 units of retainer longbowmen, 4 full units of mountain guards. These are the guys who will be going against Rhovanion's heavy hitters. And then we've got a couple march wardens, a couple light cav. I think we could do it. So that's the plan. Call them out, weaken the garrison here so that we can then decide to take it for ourselves or just besiege it. But either way, we got to get rid of all those units. We got to get them down quite a bit, because if we just let them sit in there, they're not going to be open to becoming a protectorate. And since we're doing great with public order, let's just bring these guys down to Nergzagil to get retrained. And anything else we want to do with moving up here? I don't think so. This guy's the governor. You know, maybe I could do the same thing up here by sort of inducing an attack or setting up an ambush type of situation. We don't have great units for that. They got a full stack. But, you know, I might risk it. If we set up like here, we'll have movement points left to withdraw. So I know that's not really a likely ambush situation, but they may see that we went over there and kind of go in that direction. And let's move down here as well. I'm thinking a watchtower over here might also be a good idea. Let's get it over in this direction. I'm really more worried about a Dunabar. And so if we set up a watchtower here that's pretty deep in their territory, we can see if they're kind of skirting the mountains of ash or coming towards us, across these river crossings. So now we'll just carefully move back down, and we'll get in position to attack Rune pretty soon. Any other building that we have to do? Amrundor has finished. Tham is working on that Outland Dominion. I think we're good. Homeland Dominion. So in 3 turns, we'll have both of those finished. And 1 turn, this is going to start bringing us in a good amount of money. So that should help with our income problems. All right. I guess we will just end the season then and see what happens. Interesting. Nothing at all. So the Beornings did not feel strong enough to counterattack us outside Holt, but they have not moved towards Arab Gobel either. And, oh, they moved right for Dale. Good for them. They must have gone completely around Hjorth and went straight for it. I'm honestly kind of shocked by this. But you know why? So I was thinking for a moment that this was an exception to the rule that the AI typically avoids, it typically only attacks provinces that border it. So, for example, it would move up here and attack Hjorth because, actually we don't share a border, but they have military access with Dale, I believe. Let's double check that. Yeah, they've got a military access agreement with Dale, or at least they do at the beginning of the campaign, and that is likely to still be the case because they never dropped the alliance. So in any case, maybe they see this province of Dale as actually belonging to them, which explains their movement up here. But I'm thinking the army that attacked Dale is not the armies that we've been seeing around Hjorth. I'm thinking it's the armies that we've been seeing down here. Possibly. I'm not totally sure. But regardless, they've attacked Dale, and I think it's because Dale does border them here in the eastern Greenwood. So they own this territory. They can get through it to Dale, and they can get up around. But yeah, no, they probably did move through or around Hjorth's zone of control to attack the city of Dale. Well, good for them. That really, I was going to say that really hurts our economy, but I think the completion of Belagant's Homeland Dominion really helped things a lot. So now we're making 3,500 almost. Very, very good. Okay. So we've got to attack Holt, and we've got to defend Dale and see what else we're doing. Okay, Reunited Kingdom and Dunland are at war, but they have been for a very long time, so there's probably just a thing where they were doing ceasefire, and then they're going to war because they're at war with Rohan. The Eorling capital is now Parth Celebrant. That's just very funny. I don't know that I see them get eliminated in any campaigns, really. So this is very new. So Belagant has Homeland Dominion. That is great. Just move these guys down towards Nerigzigil. All right, Hamal of the Wild has died, but we have a backup emissary here, so we don't have to worry about getting bribed. We are the most advanced people in all the lands of Middle-earth, which is interesting. I guess if you look at the map, though, I mean, we've got a pretty respectable-sized territory here. So all the way from the northeast of Mirkwood down to the far, far east of Middle-earth. All right, let's do the zoom out. I never do that zoom in thing. Very weird. Okay, once we resolve the siege of Dale, I think we'll be just fine economically. But let's bring these guys down here. Now, there's no family members inside. So again, the question is, do I want to take this? I'm just checking to see what we have around here in terms of a Dunabar. Dunabar is not defending at all over here, which is nice. So yeah, let's move down. We'll put this settlement right under siege. We do have the option to pick up some mercenaries, and they're very attractive ones. These Blackland mercenaries, super expensive, but very, very strong. Shield wall, reasonable morale, good guys to have. I don't think I'm going to spring for them just yet. Variag mercenaries, as we've seen, are kind of tricky to use, which I like about them. I like about any unit, that's a high risk, high reward kind of thing, because they're relatively squishy, but can hit pretty hard. High upkeep though, and we don't have the space anyway, so we'll hold off. Nice to know that they're there though, so we can snap them up if we think we need them. And I'm very happy to see this is still held by rebels. Gonna be a long time before anyone wants to move on that. And Khand is probably just on the ropes here. Let's take a little look down. Yeah, look at all this awful, awful stuff. See what kind of units they've got. Okay, they got the Parchereb tribesmen. They've got some archers. A bunch of swords of Harad, as you would expect. I want nothing to do with this. Thank you very much. We will be leaving you alone. Now, they're probably going to attack Moldin at some point, once they either eliminate Khand. Khand does have this settlement here, and this settlement here. So they've got just 2 left. And we did peace out with them, but all the cash we paid them doesn't seem to have helped. However, nice thing about this, as we mentioned earlier, Harad does have a hard time holding on to these provinces. They're just so far away from their other lands. So they're probably going to lose this to revolt and get stuck in this cycle of having to conquer and reconquer endlessly. So I think we would be safe if we were to take Amron Magor. I mean, we're going to hold Adel anyway, right? I mean, may as well. That's one school of thought. Extend our borders even further. But we'll see. Now, in terms of this... Okay, interesting. They've taken their army outside of Thordram. There's a noble inside, so where's the king? I mean, got to be somewhere. They had a king and an heir, like inside the city. Let's just check out their war status. Yeah, still at war with North Rune. I don't think anything is going to really come of that. We could attack this army right now, though. Okay, here is their High Chieftain and probably their heir as well. Yeah, we could come out of the trees here and hit them and do a ton of damage. Let's do it. They outnumber us. They've got 3 units of cav, so we will have to watch out for that, but no long range. 4 units of axes. Okay. Our slingers are really going to be the heroes here. We take out this army, then Thordram all of a sudden seems a lot less of a threat. The other nice thing about it is, if we take it, that just about guarantees that they're going to have some men down in Amron Magor, some family members who spawn down there, because it'll be the only remaining settlement that they own, and I think that the AI family members have to appear inside a settlement. I don't think they can appear like just under the command of a general or something who's out in the field. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I don't think I am. All right, we've got some archers and some foresters here. Yeah, a very weird army, mostly mercs, but we do have some cav. I'm just going to lead with the slingers here. That's going to be my game plan. And I imagine they're going to approach us. They're going to be feeling pretty good. Because on stats, on paper, they do outnumber us quite a bit. Let's move over so the trees aren't quite as much of an obstacle. But yeah, they can get around us a lot. We're already firing. I don't really want to do any fighting in the trees. So if we can move over to make that less likely. Terrain here is about equal. So we're not going to get any advantages, and neither are they, in terms of hills. Okay, here we're going to see them approach. Keeping some of their units back, it appears. Warband's coming for the center. Will be a good match for my warband. And then Axemen, we're just going to have to hope that we can shoot enough of them down, and then our cavalry or something can deal with it. But this will be a weird, typical Rhovanion battle strategy. Mostly skirmish and select cavalry charges Although I've got a lot less cav than I would like. Okay, some of them are charging in. Some of them are going to be pulling back. Alright, let's double up on these Easterling Warband with our own. And they're going to rout, like, instantly here. Alright, let's pull back. We have so many slingers that we don't want to get shot in the back very much, if we can avoid it. Rhovanion Foresters are even attacking these guys at range. They get quite an arm, those javelin men. Alright, I'm getting a little concerned that they are coming from all sides here. So let's go over this way, because we got Foresters here that could theoretically deal with the cavalry. Let's do this. We'll hit this unit of cav. And that cav is acting a little indecisively. Okay, here we go. Alright, let's hit the general. It's just Eastland Raiders. Come back and hit those Rhovanion Foresters. I think we're going to be okay. Riding right into these Axemen. They're losing slightly, but they're steady. So, I'd love to not lose a general here, but we may. Axemen are winning. Axemen are winning. Alright, we're losing a lot. What was that? That's one of ours. Damn it. Yep, and they're pulling out. Okay, get out of here. This is going bad. Alright, we did take out that unit of horse. Come back in. Our actual general is routing. Oh, jeez. We've got one family member left. Let's preserve him. They look like they're withdrawing. So we'll just hang back and keep skirmishing at this point. Let's throw in the Foresters. This is going to be one of those inconclusive battles. Let's go over hit the Eastland Raiders if we can. And actually, you know, we may do okay in terms of killing them. Alright, we're hitting Warband. They're losing heavily and shaken. Axemen of Rune. Okay, this is not a great charge, but it might be enough. Steady, shaken, wavering. Broken. There we go. Alright, we're not going to catch their general. But we got our cav out in the field now, so we may be in a position to kill enough of them so that their army melts away. Alright, let's throw in the slingers as melee units. These guys aren't firing. Slingers do have a shield. These are evenly matched, losing slightly, shaken. I think we're going to be fine. Alright, we have to watch that we're not going to catch something that we don't necessarily want to catch. Like if there's an intact unit of Axemen just withdrawing, for example. I think we'll be okay. I think we should be able to rout those Easterling skirmishers just fine. Those Axemen are going, so now we'll halt and let the slingers just kill them as they retreat. So we lost another general. I think he was the older one. He was probably the better general, unfortunately. But we'll see how this guy does. I can't remember his name. Alright, we're theoretically at the point we could catch those Eastland Raiders, but I don't think it's worth it. We've killed 90% of them, so theoretically at this point, once they leave, we can just end the battle, and they should melt away. So let's just clean this up. Alright, end the battle here. Heroic victory. Yeah, you know, we killed a lot of them, right? We killed more of them than there were of us. So every man killed at least one of his enemy. So that's, you know, not too bad, but we did lose a lot. Again, it shows that when the enemy, really throws in and commits, that's when we run into trouble. When the AI does its typical stupid thing of just approaching lines and withdrawing and approaching again and withdrawing, that's when we do really well with a sort of a weaker force. So we lost Arndor in the northern marches, but Broad of Raycoast, I think he was the guy who just came of age. Is that right? Yeah, youthful. He's not the best. He's under the weather, in fact. He's at least a competent governor, so we may put him in charge of some settlement at some point. Since he's under the weather, it may be time to move back where he can be at least on friendly territory, or maybe time to double down, because this army here is... I think we could deal with it. Yeah, let's do it. They may send some more guys after us, but this is nothing we haven't dealt with before. So, Broad of Raycoast became second Warden of Rhovanion. This is a military title. It gives 5 command, but this is only command in the sense of on the campaign map. So because he won a battle, he's a surviving general, he has this title now, which means that if he is in the same stack as another general who has lower command on the campaign map, then he will take precedence and he will actually lead the army. Once he gets to the campaign map, or once he gets to the battle map, you'll see that he doesn't actually have 5 command. It may be something very different. In other words, this title does not reflect his skill. Okay, do we want to send this guy up? I think it might make sense to just leave him down here for now, but maybe we can get away with training a unit of cav to send up as a reinforcement. And in Tham itself, how about we send some of these slingers and riders, because we don't need them here anymore. I don't think we need the units down here. Theoretically, Tham could come under attack from a Dunabar. That is a danger, and that's why I'm kind of eager to get my spy over here. But through this fog of war, because we do border Mordor north. So it's kind of a big province that this commands. But let's take these guys. Let's see what that does to public order. I'll take a blue face. We'll move them up north, and we'll get them ready to assist. All right, other stuff we have to do is defend Dale and deal with Holt. So let's do that. Let's assault Holt here. I don't think we want those mercenaries, really. Actually, we can afford them now. We're making money. They will push rams, and they will soak up dog attacks, basically. So we'll do that. 231 men is what they've got. It's mostly dogs and horses, though, so... which is fitting for the Beornings. I can picture a really over-the-top Middle-earth mod that has, like, bee hornet hive throwing Beornings, dogs that shoot bees out of their mouths, and all this ridiculous stuff. But in this mod, it's a little more restrained, a little more realistic. We've got cav and we've got dogs. All right, we do have our 4 rams, and I see no reason not to just send these guys straight ahead, except for the fact that I can't move them, which is interesting. What is this about? Okay. Can I move anybody? Yes, I just can't move the ram guys for some reason. It's very weird. We'll have to change up who's holding the rams. Like, I don't want the mercenary slingers. Okay, so we can move them. Do I have another unit of... No, you know what? We don't need 4 rams. We just need 3 rams. So, that's what we'll do. We'll send you guys here. We'll send you guys over here. And we'll send you guys... You know, I don't even know if I want to bother to go that way. Let's go over here. And while they're getting ready, we can get our... bowmen all together. They've got no ranged.
Our soldiers are at the walls. Now they must batter a way through.
Here's our 2 skirmish-type units.
Soldiers have reached the gates with
Here's our
the battering
slingers, and here's our other archers that are more like cannon fodder, blocking for our retainer longbowmen. Here's our extremely small cav presence and our family members.
Soldiers have done their work well. The battering ram has broken
All right.
through the gate.
So pretty soon, we're going to be able to get into these walls. I think the way we're going to do it is actually send our bowmen right up about here. Send the slingers up. And we're going to be just shooting at these guys until they withdraw.
Troops should be ordered forward.
Yep. What's that? War dogs? Okay, we actually... Did we kill all of the war dogs? We did quite a number, so that's excellent.
The walls are broken. Our troops should be ordered forward.
Alright, let's just keep doing this. If we just shoot them all down, then I won't have to worry about them. They are a very, very difficult unit to deal with, as I've said. Alright, there's that. The problem is we are losing slingers, so we'll pull them back, pull these guys back. So now we can run in and capture the walls, or the towers here. And then the towers will be shooting down at them, and they'll withdraw because of that.
Great gods!
Very nice.
Our soldiers have done well this day. The walls are taken.
And then the war dogs, that is a problem. But I can send these guys forward now. Get them up on the wall. Send these guys to get this tower. And then that'll probably move those guys away. Here comes the general, it looks like. We captured that tower. It doesn't look like we're shooting at them yet. Come on, Beorning guard. Just come down so I can shoot at you. Alright, we'll slow it down here a little bit. And let's see, I don't want to throw in. Let's get the slingers over here. Like I said, we're using these guys kind of as cannon fodder. We can get the axemen down off the wall and get the archers up on the wall. So hopefully the slingers being here will induce these guys to keep coming. And then we're going to start shooting at these woodman riders. And what is that? 2 units of woodman riders. Very good. Looks like they're already down to about half strength, at least one of them. And back here, another unit of Beorning hounds. But we should be able to deal with that. We've got so many arrows left, too. We can't quite reach those guys. Alright, let's bring the slingers over again. Our archers are now up on the walls. So, if the war dogs come over to deal with the slingers, they should be in range, at least of our towers. Alright, yeah, here they come. Kind of. Okay, they're moving off in that direction. Well, that's just as well, I guess. Let's get over here, over here. Okay, what do we have? Some horsemen trying to chase our slingers and then thinking better of it. Great. Alright, the rest of their cav, as well as remnants of their war dogs, are back at the city center. The general is off somewhere else. I think it's time to bring the archers out. And actually, we've got our Rhovanion foresters and Rhovanion ranger mercenaries. We can bring these guys up too. At least start them in this direction, as well as the riders. And yeah, so here you're seeing part of the problem of war dogs. They, you don't really target the dogs, you target the handlers. So, and now we've killed the handlers, so the war dogs are displaying as dead, if you see the tooltip, the third line down. But I think they're just continuing to kill us, so let's try to run up the tower. I can't remember how, like, what is the good way to deal with this. Maybe we are actually cutting them down somewhat. It's hard to say. But let's bring all of our bowmen up. I really don't want to lose these guys to dogs, but we're going to risk it anyway because they're going to be charging at us out of the town square. Alright, but here's our woodman mercenary axes. Alright, I think that's it. I think there's literally just this one puppy here. Let's just leave them here. He's going to be trying to fight them for maybe the rest of the battle. Now, there are a lot of woodman riders. I think I would actually prefer this. We get our foresters up here because they're, you know, kind of spearmen. This guy over here, and we get our archers, like... Yeah, what are you guys shooting at? Yeah, I get our archers, like, right here. Get our axemen backing them up. And our riders coming in, too. Yeah, here they come. Yep, we're gonna lose some archers. Let's throw in the cav. So sad. Alright, not too bad though. Down to 41 here out of a total of 60. And that's the worst of it. Down to just one man. Okay, great. And now we're at the point where we can shoot at his Beorning guard and probably bring him back out of the town square and kill him. We also do have to anticipate some friendly fire here because we're setting up, you know, with our archers kind of on the downhill. So let's do this. Move them up. All right. As they get here, we're going to be seeing them approach. So the war dogs are actually coming. Yep. Here they come into our foresters, who I forgot to take off skirmish for this. And the Beorning guard. Alright, we'll just focus on those Beorning guard. No. Stay out of that fight. And that's literally it. If we can get these guys to rout, we have won the city. Beorning war dogs are looking pretty bad, but the Beorning guard is doing very well. I expect they would. I mean, look at the size difference between this unit and our foresters. So they are winning for sure. Let's send in our mercenaries. Starting to see some routing now. Send in our axemen. And focus our archers right on that Beorning guard unit. Everyone else is kind of expendable. I mean, thankfully they're tall enough that our archers can still see their heads above our own men's heads. But still, we're going to be doing some friendly fire for sure. Now, a cavalry charge can also be really effective against the Beorning Guard. But the problem, of course, is we don't have a lot of cav. And I don't want to run my generals in. So we'll just wait. All right, where are you guys going? Down to just one guy. Heroically fighting on. There he goes. Killed by a Rhovanion Ranger mercenary, it looks like. And we'll now just shoot down the rest of them. And that should be it. Clear victory here. We have taken settlement of Holt. The eastern Greenwood, I believe. And this gives us a channel straight to the Anduin. And vice versa. So that is the problem. All right, they have pretty low population here. So we will occupy and lower the taxes, destroy the hosting halls, and I think we're going to keep everything else. This is a Northmen faction, and so everything else they have here is going to be useful to us. But we will keep the Homeland Dominion for now, I think. Well, let's just check public order. Yeah, we got some blue face, we got some yellow faces. So I'm not going to try that. Changing that just yet. The Holt is not going to be a super useful province to us. If we check out what we can train here, at tier 1 it's going to be woodman axes levies. You know, like this is not the sort of apex of our military machine. Second tier is going to give me woodman spear levies, which is a kind of an interesting. I like these guys. They're extremely rough. I mean, their shields are just battered. It got a lot of character. They are kind of a different behaving of spearmen than what we have, or the version that we can train, of course, has the hedgehog formation. These guys don't. But because of that, they've got just a different formation, just a different density to the units. So they get woods bonuses, which is kind of interesting. And then at tier 3, we could get our first couple native guys. So it's, this is not one that I'm really too excited about developing into a military settlement. It's already military policy. We may just keep it that way, but I'm not thinking we're gonna get great stuff out of this. Now, the big problem with the Greenwood, of course, is that you never know if there are Beornings just around the next corner. So we'll be doing a lot of this, back and forth through the trees just to see who is waiting for us. Not too much just yet. We got about a full stack, though, in their capital of Oldford. And we've got some other stuff happening down here around Langwyke. But, I mean, you've basically seen what the Beornings have to offer. The only unit that we haven't seen is the Beorning Axes, which is very similar in some ways to their bodyguard unit. But, yeah, they've got 3 settlements right here. They've got this for number 4, the Gladden Vales. So they've got some life in them yet, for sure. And they may have even conquered some of these orc holds. And who knows? They need to capture the High Pass stronghold as part of their victory conditions. And they could have moved into a Dunabar's lands, theoretically. I'm not sure if that's what they've done, but it's a possibility. They haven't, they're not at war with them, but you never know. So I think this is a good point to stop the episode here. We're getting a little bit long, but when we come back, we're going to be doing the Battle for Dale. We're going to see how we're going to defend it. Yes, here's a unit of Beorning Axemen for you to take a look at the stats and so on. So not too many archers here. I'm not too concerned. We have our own archers we can bring over. If not this turn, then the next. So thank you very much for joining me with this episode, and I hope you'll stick around for the next one. Until then, take care.